Mana versus Violet, as that's a really big game.
Rockin' and rollin', as we can see right off the bat, we've got spawning down in the bottom left-hand corner of Entombed Valley. It is Violet. I love the name on his Zerg account. Fat and lazy.
Mana on the right top side of Entombed Valley has an interesting name as well, as he's the Snowbird. But of course you guys don't really see that in the top side, but you can see it if I put my mouse cursor on that Nexus. Ben, as I said several times right now, pretty big game, as both these guys are 2-0 in the regular season. This is the first season that Violet is part of the NASL. Mana has been part of the NASL for a long time, but was not convincing at all in Season 3. He had a good Season 2 as he made it into the offline finals, and if I remember correctly, he lost 3-0 in the first round of those offline finals against Moro. But nevertheless, top 16 is still good, much better than he did last season. So he's looking for a chance to revenge himself, if that makes any sense.
It sure
avenge
does.
himself. And
15 spawning pool down for Violet. Mana looks like he wants to fast expand. He's got the pylon on the low ground already. And he's also being very active about delaying this hatchery, which is so annoying.
I really like that Zergs, like they send out a drone much quicker, and instead of just like by the time they expect to have 300 minerals and then they're gonna have to drain HP of that probe, if they start sending it a little bit quicker, yes, you lose a little bit of mining time, but by the time that you actually have the money to warp in or to morph in that hatchery, you will immediately be able to do it. That's one of those small things, by the way, guys, for all you aspiring Zerg players at home. Don't send your drone when you're up to 240 minerals and expect to expand. No, send it a little bit quicker, start attacking that probe. By the time you actually want to expand, that probe is so low on HP that they're either going to lose it, or
they're forced to place that pylon.
Yep. Yeah, or they're forced to place a pylon, or just keep it away and you still get your hatchery up in time.
Pretty normal looking stuff thus far. Nexus about halfway done already for Mana Forge is completing. And no threat at all of Violet sending any lings across the map. His pool was too late for that. He's not making enough lings for that. It's going to be very standard macro. We already see another drone going out for that fast third base. Mana, on the other hand, well, I mean, it's still looking very standard, but we have to speak to the point of his typical PVZ. He's been called, and it's been said that Mana's a guy that likes to be very aggressive, if not maybe all-in-ish in his Protoss versus Zergs, which is a strange label to give somebody who's a DreamHack champion.
Yes, and actually in those games where he played against Dimag in the final, it wasn't really all that all-in-ish. He just very well prepared for the style of his opponent, and I really think that personalizes, or how do you say that, like that characterizes his style much more than anything. If he feels that his opponent is going to play in a certain way, he's going to try to react to that, much rather than him being all in, just having a good read or choosing the right strategy. So we'll see how he's going to play it, and so far I love the positioning of these units outside of the main base of Mana. So Violet setting everything up correctly. +1 is being researched immediately. Often when I saw Mana play PvZ, he went for some 4-gate +1, not just to win the game straight up, but just to force a lot of units out and be effective with it. I have seen him win games, even against really good Zergs, with his 4-gate +1 pressure, when it turned out much better. But of course, that's going to be very hard to achieve against a player like Violet.
Violet has been lauded for having some of the best Zerg versus Protoss on the planet, and often goes very deep. He's an MLG champion. He has, he's one of the most successful tournament players.
I am champion as well, of course.
Of course, I am Sao Paulo. Violet was the winner there and went on to do very well in the grand finals, the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships CBIT. And he does it all on the back of some very strong Zerg versus Protoss. I think Violet is one of the most talented players in the world. I love his gameplay, and also love little things like this that he does, Kevin. Putting the double gas in his natural. This is so tricky to play against, because if you scout his natural and you don't see the main, you say, okay, he could have 4 gas, and you have to prepare for such a wider range of things.
Idra often does it really, really does it often as well. Certainly in the last few games we've seen of him, he pretty much almost always takes his gas in his natural. But you're 100% spot on, Ben. It makes it just harder for Protoss to read, and you always want to make it harder. Violet has a lot of lings over here. This Stalker is not yet surrounded, but it's actually going to get away for now. Queen was taking a lot of damage because Violet was very busy microing his lings rather than the Queen, but this Queen should survive.
Yep, a couple more lings will come in and complete the surround on that Zealot, allowing Violet to stabilize. He made a lot of Zerglings in reaction to that. 14 lings out.
It might have to do something with the fact that he did see that +1 spinning, But there were actually, the 3 gates did not go up, at least not before the Robo went down. So Mana is just playing this pretty tech heavy so far. Violet did scout the robotics facility earlier. I'm kind of wondering why he's sacrificing his Overlord. Perhaps wants to see a sick amount of gates, hoping that he would see 6-7 gates so he could put the pieces together and think this might be a Warp Prism all in. But that's not going to be the case. It looks a little bit more standard. Now back in the days, Ben, Mana's weakest matchup was by far PvZ. Like they even joked around often about how bad his PvZ was. I really feel those days are sort of over. I wouldn't say it's his best matchup, but he definitely improved a lot on it over the
he's
last
definitely
year.
picked up some good I don't
Tricks
know.
and trips.
Yeah, he's been watching trick tips with Andre, and he's learned how to exploit Zerg players a little bit. Violet is droning so hard. He's about to be over 70 drones, just not making a single unit after pushing back that initial Stalker Zealot harass.
Good observer scout over here by Mana as he spotted both Evolution Chambers. Immortal's on the way as well. He's not flying to the main base yet, but there's not really a whole lot to see. And I guess the Invitation Pit will be morphed in real soon, as we are, as I'm expecting a Zergling Infestor style. Anything else would really surprise me right now.
Yeah, it's certainly what it's looking like with this investment in the melee and the armor upgrades. There's a Spire going down though, so in fact it's going to be Mutiling, which is of course one of the basically the only other possibility that you have for yourself. Small pause, as you can see, to take place. Again, this is
oh,
a
that's a key warp, and if Violet would have walked up immediately, Ben, he would have been able to run all those links into the main base, and now that wouldn't have killed a sick amount of pros. That's just annoying, and you don't want to deal with that as a Protoss player. But that is not the case. Spire, this kind of gives me a little flashback of one of the PvCs I saw recently. Actually, it was Zinio against Naniwa, ain't that right? Where Zinio went Mudas as well, and Naniwa defended quite well, but as a Zerg player, you just don't really have to commit to these Mudas. You make 12 to 14 Mudas, or Muta, just to keep Soka happy. Just to keep Soka happy, in case he's watching. And Protoss is just forced to stay defensive for a very long time, because Protoss can't really know whether it's really 12 or 14, or if it's suddenly going to be much more. And if Protoss underreacts, Zerg can make more Mutas, and if they make the correct response, that means that they give up all map control, and Zerg can go completely uncontested up to 4 or even 5 bases.
Yeah, and
oh god, I hope this is not the Titan answer to Mutas.
Wow, Warp Prism is being built. That is a fun reaction. Mana's scouted the Spire. He knows exactly what he's playing against, and that's why we're seeing so many cannons going down. But I don't know what he hopes to achieve with his Prism. I guess he's just going to try to sneak it around the edge and maybe warp in a bunch of Zealots or something.
He's going to lose his Observer there to the Queen. It's a little bit unfortunate, because keeping those Observers alive is actually key. Then again, I don't think he's really going to use the robotics facility in the upcoming minute or two. So he could produce a couple of additional observers, and I think that would definitely be worth it. Because you really want to see, man, how badly is he committing to this Mutalist.
Yeah, well, he does have another observer in the third base, and every single Muta just flew past that observer. So Mana should have a pretty good idea of what he's up against.
Wow, and actually, oh, so close as the Mutas almost fly into that Warp Prism. It's really key to scout the Spires. You guys can see right now it's going to be so much harder for Violet to really be very effective with all these Mutalisks, because there are a couple of cannons waiting to greet him, and Blink Stalkers are ready as well. Even +2 Ben is almost ready. Violet's going to ignore these cannons. He's going to go straight into the main base. It's going to be a little bit annoying, as a couple of sentries are very exposed, but here come the Blink Stalkers.
It's kind of a risky move. Once you get up into this this expansion, you're pretty committed. This Muta's going to take a lot of damage.
There could be another Blink as well for Mana. Mana could warp into. There goes the Blink. Picks off 1, 2 maybe.
Yeah, Warp Prism has been loaded up with, or just warped in for Zealots in the bottom of the map, and we'll probably see it load up and move pretty soon. I'm a little sad that Mana didn't throw down a Dark Shrine after seeing these Mutas. I swear I feel like DTs are one of the best reactions you can ever have to Muta play.
Yes and no, it really depends, I guess, on how well your opponent is prepared. There should always be plenty of links on the map, and if he has detection at every base. And it's kind of hard to hide Dark Shrines when there are Mutas on the map. Don't you feel that's the case?
That is a very good point. But right now, Violet sitting at about 180 supply against 141 supply of
10
Mana.
Infestors on the way as well. That's really brutal. And so we see 6 Zealots being warped in over here on the right bottom side of this map. I don't think those Zealots will be able to achieve a whole lot. Certainly not with these Mutas being so close. There's a nice Spinecrawler wall over here. Violet so far has played pretty much a perfect game without doing all that much, but just choosing a nice strategy, making it hard for Mana to find himself in a good position.
Yeah, Violet just spining it up in a big way. His hive's about to finish, and with it, we'll probably see the Greater Spire going down. Great upgrades for Violet as well. Starts the Greater Spire immediately. 14 minutes, 40 seconds on that Greater Spire.
So many links over here. There's not a single cannon over here, by the way, Ben. I think that's crazy, as there is one Zealot over here, but not a single cannon. That's very crazy. High Templars do have Storm already, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they do have Storm. So, yes, Mana has a scary army, but this is just not a very good army against Spinecrawlers. And by the time that he has a real ends to deal with these Spinecrawlers, which is in most situations, while Violet forces a cancel on his Nexus, Colossus, or in rare situations you could be, you could consider carriers as an answer as well. By that time, Violet's pretty much going to have his ultimate army with Corruptors and Broodlords. And Infestors, of course, but he already has those.
Violet looks so unassailable right now.
Oh, Storm!
Storm does go down on these mutas, but I mean, at this point, mutas are kind of dead supply, Kevin.
And he would be happy to sacrifice, I guess, his mutas for the Colossus, but I think he felt like he wouldn't be able to take it, and I think that was a good read. But during all this, man, he's going to force another cancel on this base. Violet's playing some excellent StarCraft.
Yes, he is being very active with the lanes as those mutas dance around, even killing a pylon as Mana was trying to warp in. Mana is up to 170 supply. He's got a very formidable army, but Greater Spire's done. Corruptors are popping out, and there's how many Broodlords in production? Only 3 right now, but there are going to be so many Broodlords out on the map.
Violet's pretty rich. He's just a little low on gas right now, but that's just a matter of time. He's just doing a really good job. And I think that Mana got tired of seeing his expand get cancelled. He wants to make something happen, but that's just not the right response right now. Unless Violet's going to control his Infestors poorly. But if he just camps behind all the Spinecrawlers, look at this wall, the Great Wall of Violet. Looks pretty safe to me, Ben.
He's going to have a very, very hard time attacking through that, especially with only a single Colossus.
Almost his links were able to squeeze through. A couple of Stalkers being forced to warp in defensively. That already makes these links pretty much worth it. These links...
Mana's just going to blink right up on top of everything. He's going to kill some Infestors straight away. Good feedback.
Wow, that's actually a really great blink, Ben. As the Spinecrawlers over here were not as safe as over there, I guess.
And unbelievably, this is a great looking fight for Mana. He's killed every Infestor. He's killed all the Broodlords.
92 Zerglings in production though, Ben, and there are no more Storms with his army. So Mana, if he would have only had that Warp Prism here in the mix, then I think it would be a little bit better. Do you think he can deal with 92 Zerglings?
We're going to have to wait and see. They are going to come crashing into this. He does have Blink, and Blink very, very powerful, but these Lings...
pretty well upgraded as well. They have 2 upgrades.
Mana's having to blink for his life right now, and he's doing a pretty good job of it. The Spinecrawlers are coming back. This hatchery staying alive. Queen in the mix as well. It looks like Violet might actually clean this up. Incredible.
Wow, what a great positioning by Mana though, as he's really killing the maximum amount of links. But right now, the reinforcements will keep coming in. He still had a couple of Spinecrawlers over here, so those will be able to help out. The Queen is running low on speed. Finally, Violet cleans this all up. But a new wave of Gateway units is already coming in. There are 3 Broodlords on the map though. Where are they?
Man, but Violet has been so battered by this, Kevin.
Used all his larva.
Mana just killed all these expensive units. Every Infestor, every Broodlord. There are a couple of Broods out, but there are no more Infestors. I mean, Violet has to make it work with just pure Zergling Broodlord.
Yes, and there are only 4 Broodlords right now, and the biggest problem is that Warp Prism joined in the fun. That's really nice for Mana. This is the moment where those 3 units are starting to do a really good job for Violet. It looked so good for Mana just a few seconds ago, but these 4 Broodlords, man, are doing a great job. But one moment, all that Violet has to do is one single mistake.
Mana's gonna go for it, and he is blinking right up underneath those Broodlords, and he's picked off 2 of them. Now he's forced to back off as more Zergling reinforcements do stream in. I think Violet might actually hold,
What
Kevin.
a sick hold by Violet so far. Mana did a really good job, but Mana has been on 3 bases all along, Ben, and he didn't even kill either of these 2 hatcheries. I cannot believe that Violet is holding this. It looks so grim after the second push.
Absolutely incredible. Colossus a little bit forgotten about there in the middle of the map. War Prism still trying to find openings, but Kevin, Mana has been stopped, and like you said, when he couldn't secure a 4th base, he said, all right, I'm just going to go for it. 3 base all in. Now he's in trouble. His natural rapidly thinning. His main is gone. 3rd base still has a little bit of money left.
He has so many High Templars in his main, Ben. I really felt if he would have either brought that Warp Prism in quicker, or even maybe have this Colossus within this move. Well, it looked so good. Like the second push, when he had that Warp Prism in, those big warp-ins, it really felt like Mana's game. What a sick defense by Violet.
Yeah, unbelievable. And you know what the real key there is, Kevin? I mean, Violet did a lot right, but the thing that made the difference was the fact that he kept up with his injections,
Yeah.
the fact that he was able to make 96 Zerglings.
Yeah, that was the first wave, but that wave almost even got pretty much cleaned up. But then he still repositioned pretty much every single spine crawler he had. Kept doing a good job with injects during that fight, keeping spine crawlers in position. Also bringing in the 2-3 Broodlords that he had, then morphing 2 more. Really impressive defense by Violet.
Yeah, really unbelievable.
There is a Mama ship on the way right now.
She's out. She is
Mama
out. She is she's in play. Mama Shipa. And finally, Mana will be able to take a
So many
full
Archons
stage.
on the way right now. As Violet used pretty much all of his gas on all the Broodlords. Finally, well, it was bound to happen once, but
And now Changelings are actually going to clog it up so that...
maybe you can cloak the
no,
Nexus.
they
No,
just
that's not going to be in time.
this Nexus will get focused down. That's not a big loss for Mana, though.
Lost a little bit of gas. There was 900 gas remaining in the main base, but
Now losing the Fleet Beacon's a little bit more annoying, and he's got to come over here and deal with this. Mana's not sending his army back.
these Lings must have adrenal glands, man.
It's almost a certainty.
Yes, they do.
Templar Archive's also going to fall. Mana, you're being so sloppy right now.
He's going to lose his Robo Bay as well.
Might fall as well. One Hero Zealot going to try to punch these Lings to death.
I guess he will survive. But he lost a lot of crucial tech buildings over there.
That was very, very damaging.
Ooh,
In the midst
big
of this,
warp in over here with all the Zealots, and he did take out one of the hatcheries of Violet. That's a pretty big deal, and he's also draining a lot of energy over here from these infestors, which is probably going to mean that I think Violet's going to be defensive for a little while. Well, even though that infestor count went rapidly up, he was just a minute ago up to 1 or 2 infestors, now he has over 10.
13 infestors on the map right now.
Changes everything.
And Violet is slowly starting to make that push across the center of the map. Now Vortex, the big game changer, it's really up to Violet not to let his units clump.
I don't think there's Neuro. I'd be very surprised if there is Neuro. No Neuro.
No, not yet. This ain't Jadon.
No. Well, this is a different type of game. As Violet right now is also adding quite a few Corruptors, man. He already has 3 more on the way. He's even getting decent upgrades on his air units as well. There's another Warp Prism active on this left side of the map, but Mana is going to need, first he's going to need great feedbacks, and then he's going to need a great Vortex, or both at the same time. Here come the feedbacks though.
Oh, but also here come the Broodlords, and one Vortex does go down, but minimal. Brood's getting sucked in.
He needs
there.
9 more energy, but he didn't have enough energy for double Vortex, as the Mana ship will die, and that's probably going to be the end of Mana.
It's going to be curtains. Broodlord fall just a little bit, well, a lot of it too strong for this particular Protoss army.
Wow, what's a close game. I really thought Mana had it.
It was close on both sides at points, but Violet does somehow stabilize, and he says,
Not today.
Oh, no, you didn't, Mana. Oh, no, you didn't blink up under my Broodlords like that. And,
yeah, it's kind of sick actually that Mana decided to go for that attack, and that it worked so well that he kind of thought, because I really thought that Violet had everything was going for him. He had the perfect Spinecrawler wall, almost perfect, and if he would just land good fungals and the Broodlords wouldn't be exposed, it would almost be impossible for Mana to put him in a bad position. But Mana somehow found that window, really went into it, took a great fight, kept so many Blink Stalkers alive. Violet was forced to use all of his larvae to defend and still just barely clean it up. And during that fight, Mana had a little bit of resources floating around. So that gateway follow-up, that was big. If only he had that Warp Prism there a little bit quicker, then I really think it would have been over.
Really fantastic game from both sides. Just a beautiful game. It was brought to you by Stamps.com. Hassle-free postage from your PC. Head over to nasl.tv/p/stamps where you can get your own special deal on that postage. Guys, we're going to take a very short break. Game number 2 is going to be on Cloud Kingdom, and that's going to happen when we get back.